Drew Shaffer writes, Dear Collider, love the show. My question is, do you think actors that have a failing career who are cast in a sequel years later, that sequel could save their career? For example, Hayden Christensen being in episode 8. Love to hear your thoughts. Thank you.
Here's the thing about that situation. We have seen in the past actors with big careers, and then they go on a dry spell, and then they go back to what worked for them before. Sylvester Stallone is almost the poster child for this. He was doing Rocky and Rambo movies, and he got away from those for about 10 years, and nothing worked, although he was great in Copland. But other than that, nothing was working, so what did he do? He went back to Rocky and Rambo, and everybody loves him. Arnold Schwarzenegger, for a long time, got away from big stuff, and then he came back as Terminator, all that kind of stuff. Vin Diesel, got to say, I'm done with Fast and the Furious. Nothing else working. Guess what? I'm back in Fast and the Furious. So that worked. But with Hayden Christensen, though, there's one key major difference. With Sylvester Stallone with Rocky, with Vin Diesel in Fast and the Furious, with Arnold Schwarzenegger in Terminator, these were actors that people beloved them for in those original roles that they came back to. Not a lot of Hayden Christensen love for his portrayal as Anakin Skywalker in the prequels. So whereas you would have had a lot of people who would love to see Arnold come back as Terminator, maybe not anymore, but at the time they did, or they'd love to see Sylvester come back as Rocky one more time, or so on and so forth. I don't think you're going to get that same kind of nostalgic love for Hayden Christensen coming back for number 8. I still don't think it's going to happen at all. But anyway, do you think this could be something that A, fans would really love, and B, could revive Hayden Christensen's career?
Well, first of all, like you said, we don't know for sure if this is going to happen. Right. If it does, what people were tweeting me when this rumor was going around, and I guess just thinking that I was going to hate it, I actually really I'm excited for the possibility of him coming back in episode 8. If it's obviously flashback or hologram.
Sorry, I think your microphone's not working.
I know. I'll tell you why though, because it's for this topic. Because I think I'm curious to see what Rian Johnson can do with Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker, and whether it's a flashback in the Clone Wars, whether it's a flashback to see him as Vader, in the Jedi Temple, whatever it is, and giving him a shot to see what he can do. And do I think that if he has we also don't know how big the role is going to be. If it's a 5-minute role, is it going to revive his career? Probably not. But if it's maybe like, and I doubt this is going to happen, but if it's a Godfather 2 type thing where you see a little bit more of a mission that Anakin had to go through, and you're watching Rian Johnson work with him, then yeah, it could, because maybe he pulls something out of this kid that we've never seen before. Is that likely? No, but it absolutely could help his career if done the right way.
Yeah, I don't see it helping his career because all those actors that you mentioned were also beloved in all these other franchises. Yeah. Arnold, Sylvester, all those guys had like a whole ton of other movies that also had multiple sequels based on them and their actual, like, hey, it's Stallone, he's back, or Schwarzenegger, what's he going to do next? It wasn't based on a character. It was more they were bigger than the character. So someone like Hayden Christensen, we just did our commentaries on all 3 of those prequels. Not the greatest turn of acting from Hayden Christensen. Definitely wasn't, really directed very well. It wasn't given a lot of, just do that again, but faster, whatever, however that, the script itself also had some issues, a lot of issues. But so, I feel bad for Hayden because I've seen him in other roles where he actually was good, but I don't think that, he's going to get a breakout like return off of this movie. He'll have to do another couple films and maybe get cast in some other film that he knocks it out of the park. Right. It's not going to be episode 8. He's going to be Darth Vader, and James Earl Jones is going to be doing the voice. So it's basically him kind of walking around in a suit.
Not necessarily if they do it, a Hayden, young Anakin.
I don't think they're going to do a young Anakin. I honestly think it's like, look, dude, you're Darth Vader. We'll give you here's some money. Walk around in this Darth Vader outfit.
Really?
I don't think he's tall enough to be in that. I don't think you're going to see the classic Darth Vader. Yeah, I don't think we're going to see
I think you'll see him in Rogue One, but it won't be Hayden Christensen.
Yeah. See, that's what I was talking about is Rogue One.
No,
they're talking about he's going to be in episode 8.
Episode 8 is the rumor.
The rumor was he'd come back in episode 8, maybe as a Force ghost or something
Rogue
like that.
One, there's a guy that they do, and I think it might be even a wrestler that they have.
Sheamus is that's the rumor.
That's the rumor because he's like 6'4", 6'5", because Dave Prowse was like 6'4" or something, 6'5".
I see. So
and a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
So if they did a Rogue One flashback with
Rogue One is a flashback.
Right.
You mean episode 8 flashback?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, episode 8. That would be cool.
Yeah.
I changed my mind now. Maybe he could, add some flavor to that he didn't get to.
Hey guys, if you like this clip, click here to watch the entire episode. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel because it'll help you stay up to date with all the stuff we've got going on here at Collider.